What's up, everyone? Lion Roar here, and it is spooky season, and Empires and Puzzles has dressed up their Halloween heroes in new costumes. So we have got to check these out today. But first, join me over in Gemstone Legends. It's a fantastic match 3 RPG game, and it's players that get in early on games like this that are at the biggest advantage. Not only will you help the channel out by using the link in the description of this video, but you're going to get a free epic hero named Morlovia along with a bunch of gold, gems, and potions. After you download the game, you'll have access to events which will get you even more amazing heroes and loot. Guys, wow, you don't want to miss this opportunity because you do not get it in the regular App Store. Download it now, and I will see you in Gemstone Legends. Alright, so we have got to start with the original Empires and Puzzles Halloween hero, which is Victor here, and here is his brand new costume. Of course, he's a 5-star purple hero just like before, but he is of the Rogue class now, which is one of the best classes that exists. You know, if you fought against them, that dodge can be really annoying. I mean, it is super powerful whenever a hero just completely dodges a special. Of course, part of the Morlovia family, so if you have 2 or 3 heroes, you get that 5% or 12% mana generation, and with the costume bonus, that's 2% to attack, 2% to defense, 4% to health, and 1% to mana. Those stats do matter, by the way. He's got 785 attack, 701 defense, which is actually kind of low for a legendary hero, and 1392 HP. Now, that attack, though, does matter with the special, the attack stat being so high, because first of all, he is very fast, and that really matters a lot in this game, how fast a hero is. And if he has a high attack stat, he can just keep going off. So he deals 125% damage to the target and nearby enemies. That's okay, you know, with that high attack stat, it makes it more than you think it would be, but that's not what makes this costume really special. The target nearby enemies receive 225 damage over 5 turns. If a target already has this effect, the duration will be refreshed, and the damage will be increased by 305 up to 830 damage in total. Now, that has a feel of the original card. In fact, that was kind of the theme of these old cards, but this is doing quite a bit of damage to quite a bit of heroes, and you can almost always keep this effect up and going, and it's slowly sucking the life out of the opposition. Speaking of sucking the life out of them, the caster steals 51% of any healing applied to the target and nearby enemies for 3 turns. But we saved the best for last. The target and nearby enemies get negative 24% defense for 3 turns. This is a defense debuff hero at very fast speed who's hitting 3 of them. Now, we have seen percentages bigger than 24. It makes sense they had to keep it kind of down for a very fast hero, but holy smokes, you can keep that defense down going like constantly, which is absolutely incredible. This makes Victor go from being just a sort of like, at this point in Empires and Puzzles, a substandard sort of hero, to the costume being quite good. And I see this being more useful on offense, although with how fast he's going to go off, in standard like regular wars and tournaments and things like that, he is just gonna pepper the attacker with all of this life loss and healing stealing and things like that. In fact, I feel like you could probably pair Victor with like probably Elizabeth and Hannah and stuff like that, and that would be a really good synergy for this kind of hero. So for that reason, and I don't think he's overpowered, I will say that. I think he's a very useful hero, and he's almost at that point where I think he could be used in like everything, but he can't. He can be used in most places. He's not going to be as effective in like a very fast war tournament or something like that, because he's already very fast. There's nothing to be gained from that. But he is an A minus because he's almost there. But I think the value in Victor is really that Victor's going to make other heroes better. So we've got the synergy that I just talked about. He's not like a standalone own it all kind of hero, which is typically what I reserve A's for. And yet It's close. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. That's why he deserves an A minus. Next up, we have Vonda, and full disclosure, I have a fully leveled Vonda already, the regular version, and when she came out, she was really good for 2 months. And then Empires and Puzzles printed a bunch of heroes that could deal with status ailments better than she could and did a lot more than she could, and so she kind of took a backseat to them. Let's see if the costume's any better. She's a 5-star red legendary hero, wizard class. Of course, she's part of the Morlovia family and gets the costume bonus, so remember all that. 783 attack, 755 defense, which is pretty good, and then 1441 HP. So there's some longevity here because that's a lot of HP and on top of the defense. She is very fast. That's important. That does give her some value. The special is Twilight of Ruin, deals 115% damage to all enemies. That's not a lot. The caster steals 51% of any healing applied to all enemies for 3 turns. All right, that's been a theme of these heroes before. Nothing really to write home about, but it's there. It does stuff, and it's actually got synergy, like I said, with Elizabeth and Hannah, and really any hero they come out with that has fiends. All allies are immune to new status ailments for 3 turns. Okay, so there are other heroes that do that effect better and do more things. So unfortunately, they didn't really bring Vonda up to speed, I think. So for that reason, I'm going to give Vonda a C-. I have played with her. She's fine in certain circumstances. Perhaps there's more synergy now since the Fiend heroes are around. She's not terrible. Like, if you get her, the reason she's still in the C range is because there are definite uses for her where you might really need to prevent a status ailment from affecting you at very fast speed. Like, perhaps you're trying to get under Alfreak or something like that. You know what I mean? So she does have uses, but there are other heroes that do things better, so that's why she gets a C-. And lastly, we have Francine, which is another hero who I had the regular card of and leveled her all the way up and got to play with her. She is still a 5-star green legendary hero. She is of the sorcerer class this time. Of course, she gets the family bonus and the costume bonus with 801 attack, which is pretty high, 763 defense, and 1381 HP. Now, her special is fast. It's not very fast like the others, but it also does a little bit more than Vonda, I think. She deals 225% damage to the target nearby enemies. That's going to be a good amount of damage. It's fine. Like, it's a fine amount of damage. It's not like eye-popping, but with that 801 attack, the 225% is actually a little bit more than you might expect. She cleanses status ailments from all allies at the end of each turn for 3 turns. This effect can't be dispelled. Now, having seen this printed on the former card, this effect is underrated. This one feels really good, especially when you got it on offense and you're just protecting your team and keeping them alive. And I think that there's room for that effect to be on defense too, potentially. And then lastly, all ice enemies get negative 54% defense against nature for 3 turns. And that is the part of the special that really made me interested, because any kind of elemental defense down or defense debuff, whatever you want to call it, is really powerful. When you see that negative 54% defense, that's just super powerful. And if you know me, I've talked about this before, other than a card saying straight up kill an opponent, this is about the second best thing that you could possibly see printed on a card next to just killing another hero. However, this one's a little bit more limited than we've typically seen with elemental defense debuffs because it only applies to ice enemies. So it's going to be useful if you go after like a blue tank or a defense that has a bunch of blue enemies, or like a blue titan, something like that. So in those circumstances where you can use her against blue, she's going to be really, really good. Where you don't have blue opponents, she's still going to be fine because of that status ailment thing, but she's not going to do a whole lot of damage. So you kind of got to make sure that she's just there as support to try and help keep your team alive. But I think where you're going to use her best, where she really shines as a higher graded hero, is going to be whenever there's blue opponents. That's where she's best. So when you factor all that in, that she's useful in some cases and going to be really good, but just okay in other ones, I think Francine deserves a B+, because the status ailment, cleansing is just so powerful in really any situation, almost any situation. And so you want to have that almost everywhere. The defense down for just ice enemies is just a tiny bit niche, but it's also good. Like, it's a really powerful effect. That's why I can't give it an A, though. It can't be used all around. Just in certain circumstances. Never means a hero is bad. My B heroes are always really, really good heroes. You just have to pick and choose when you're going to use them and make sure you're finding synergies. All right, so before I end this video, I might as well use my Epic Hero tokens, which, just as a reminder for those of you who might be new, you can actually save up your Epic Hero tokens. Don't just use them when you get them. Save them up for an event like this. I don't have a ton right now, but I've got a few, so I don't think I could end this video without using those and seeing if I can get lucky. Now, just as a reminder, there are percentages attached to these, and a legendary featured event hero and costume only has a 1.6% chance. So very unlikely I'm going to get anything from this, but never hurts to try. It's a 0% chance unless you try. Always Kaylani. She'll make an appearance every time. All right, there's Vlad, one of the rare heroes. And last one. Jack. All right, Jack is one of the ones they came up with later. Jack. I leveled a bunch of Jacks because I thought it would be really good to put them all together. But they just ended up being too darn slow. So unfortunately, I can't necessarily recommend Jack, but there he is. Got a couple Halloween heroes. Not the ones I'm looking for, but that's all right. All right, everybody, let me know in the comments what you got, how it is when you test it out. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you know when I drop new videos or go live, and I will catch you in the next one.